Good morning, everyone. It's Memorial Day weekend. I hope you have had a good couple of days so far. Much of the country is looking pretty quiet, except this very pesky center of the country where moisture has just been recycled again and again. And while the boundary is shifting a little bit, there's still a lot of active shower and thunderstorm activity, to be sure. And some of that is severe. A lot of it's been heavy rain, too. If you take a look at the morning radar loop superimposed with the outlook for today for severe weather, large area of rain, which has been typical of what's been happening in the last couple of days. The severe weather end of it has been on the southern and southeastern portion of the area, and then just general soaking rains north of that. That's why all the flood watches are in effect. And then the tailing end of this radar is ending up in basically kind of southwest Texas, south central Texas right here. And that's where the focus for more severe weather is going to be for today. In fact, if you take a look at that outlook, it's a level 3 enhanced risk out of 5 in that very same area that not quite goes over to Austin, but pretty close. And then that slight risk stretches all the way into Shreveport and northern Louisiana. Dallas kind of on the edge looking at it, probably a lot of rain, not much severe weather, but it is possible. The tornado risk has slipped south, but does include that enhanced risk area right here. It also extends its arm all the way up into just about the entire length of Mississippi and much of Louisiana as well. The Nadocast agrees with that assessment pretty well, putting that tornado risk in the hill country of Texas and also in northern Louisiana and in parts of Mississippi. That's a 5% risk of a tornado, no hatched area. That's 5% within 25 miles. So it's the same criteria that Storm Prediction Center uses. Looking at SIPs, the severe weather possibility, they take it a little more north than the forecasts do. And that's a typical thing for that particular model run to do, or analysis of the model run is a more accurate description. And they have the tornado probability smack dab about where that enhanced risk is, about 2% there. Now we move for Monday and look at CSU's model. They put the tornado risk in southern Arkansas, so they're more aggressive with that squall line returning to the north, it looks like. But the hail and the hail risk is definitely in the enhanced area, and the thunderstorm severe wind gust goes all the way into parts of Georgia here today. Going to Tuesday, beginning of a new work week, we have a couple of areas of slight risk, San Antonio included, central Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi included, and then a broad area of 1 out of 5 risk that encompasses that, but goes all the way to the coastal regions of Georgia. The tornado risk is confined to San Antonio and areas west, maybe Austin for Tuesday. That's set at the lowest probability, 2% chance of a tornado within 25 miles. CSU has the tornado risk shifting to northern Alabama and Georgia and parts of Tennessee, which is an interesting assessment because the hail risk is way down here in the hill country, so it matches the SPC outlook, and then kind of a broad brush wind pattern for the south. And then finally on Wednesday, everything kind of reduces a little bit, although I always say now, this is day 3 for the SPC. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1, 2, 3. And, there's room for enhancement here always. I think this is probably maybe a little underdone. It'll probably go up to a slight risk by Wednesday, as may sections of coastal areas of Louisiana and the deep south. And I say that because if you take a look at the CSU version of the learning machine, it does put the tornado risk up here in western Kansas, along with the large hail risk. I have a feeling, again, on Wednesday that a slight risk would be justified probably in that area of eastern Colorado, eastern New Mexico, still the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, and probably western portions of Kansas as well. On Thursday, things really begin to quiet down. We'll just look at the CSU models. The SPC has not pulled the trigger on any day 4 through 8 outlooks. Probably won't, I have a feeling. But CSU, again, long area of severe weather in the warm and unstable air. Much of this air up here is quiet, low dew point, stable air for the remainder of this week. Here's Friday. It shifts to the southeastern Gulf coastal areas, and by Saturday, there's practically nothing left of it. And by Sunday, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. That's it. This time of year, the severe weather climatology on the 22nd. I don't know if that's been updated yet, but it's pretty close. So what starts happening this time of year is the bullseye has traditionally been in Oklahoma, but as you watch subsequent weeks, this thing backs up toward the north and northwest. And let's see if we can see that reflected in the outlooks from NIU. So Supercell Composites certainly agrees. Again, this should be a fairly accurate representation of all the outlooks I just showed you, and it is. Texas still under the gun, northern Louisiana for at least a possibility of supercells, which is something you need for any organized severe weather. June 2nd through the 8th, Texas still active, Oklahoma. And there's evidence that we're trying to get unstable air to return northward there. And then the 9th through the 15th, we have it shifting up into parts of Montana and the Dakotas, which again is kind of fits with climate. You should see the severe weather shift from Kansas to Nebraska to the Dakotas and into Montana by the time you get to the early or even the mid part of June. Thanks for watching today's edition of Severe Thunderstorm Outlooks. This is published every day after the morning Storm Prediction Center update. Also, remember to check that site off on day one because they update it fairly frequently. If you like this video, please like it. Also, you can subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.